Mrs. Taylor.
It's me, Mrs.
I am Mrs. Williams.
Don't forget the R's.
So we are both entrepreneurs. So hopefully this YouTube video will be inspirational to our fellow entrepreneurs and also our fellow brides.
Yes. Because COVID bride is a lifestyle. I think that we need a support group.
Yes.
And I'm all here for a series. So.
Hopefully let's get some views.
Send us some questions because we got more answers.
Welcome to another week of Redding's Corner, or I should say my first week back since August. I have been away because I got married. I got married, and the phenomenal person who helped me get married also got married. We are here today to talk to y'all about being COVID brides and giving words of advice to vendors. Please welcome my good friend, Angenae, now Mrs. Taylor.
Hey, y'all. I'm here.
Angenae also came today with a little bit of spirits. We have our own spirits, but then we have additional spirits. You wanna?
So this here is bamboo.
Yeah, so we are mixing bamboo with champagne. So we'll see how we are by the end of this video. So before we get into our words of advice to vendors, we want to talk to you COVID brides and other brides out there. So I have a couple of questions for Angenae. Did you and Aaron have a budget?
So the budget question is a little tricky. My husband just likes to make money and I like to spend it. So I came up with this brilliant idea that we would have this budget-friendly wedding, and I would be able to show my clients that you can do it for less than. So I came up with a budget of. Okay. You're always gonna go over. So I said 5,000, knowing that we would go over to 7,500.
Okay. So your budget was between $500 and $7,500.
Right.
So your advice to brides would be give yourself a range.
Oh yeah. Have that buffer. Have that this is our budget, but make sure it's a little bit less than your cap. Okay. So that when you do go over or when something ends up, maybe you need expedited shipping for something or somebody fails on something. And we're dealing with COVID times. Like I've seen customers literally run into somebody who gets COVID on the day of, or they find out maybe a week later. You know, so have that buffer space where you might have to pay the extra a rush job. We have to pay for
the rush fee.
Exactly. So have that buffer in there. You just never know. And we absolutely went over both of those numbers.
Oh,
yes, we did.
Like, did you realize before, or like you hit it and was like, eh?
Oh, I hope he doesn't watch this. So I realized before, and I kept going.
Oh,
just because we had, made this great list of what our top 3 priorities would be.
Okay.
Where we wanted to focus.
That's a good point.
The bulk of our expenses, what mattered the most to us. So if something was going over budget but fell within those 3 things for either of us, it was kind of like a no-brainer.
That's a good point. We need you to like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe.
All of that. Tell everybody, your mama, your daddy, onto the Red Ink Corner channel. I'm also on social media, on Instagram and Facebook. So I went over budget. Steph and then I agreed on a budget. Our original budget was a lot higher for the original wedding. So when we realized that we was getting married in September, I set a budget for $10,000. I did not do what Angenae did, and I should have set a range. So I said, we can do this for under 10,000, right? Easy. We can do this for under 10,000. I don't see why we can't do it for under 10,000. I got the number 10,000 because that's what was in our savings account.
We got enough.
And maybe I shouldn't. That was all we had too. It wasn't like, oh, what's in here? Yeah, I can spend all of that. Yep, I can do that.
I cannot.
So that's how the number came up. And so I had like a running list of the things that we were spending, and Steph had a running list of what we were spending. We're both good with finances, right?
That's awesome.
We're both good with finances, but he is really good with numbers. Like really, really good with numbers. And sometimes I won't put in something that I spent, I won't put it into and he'll be like, well, remember when you spent $200? And I'm like, no, I don't. Where'd that come from? I don't remember that.
Let me call FedEx because did they ship it? Start acting like you didn't even receive it.
Right, I don't remember that. So his number, after a little bit, his number started looking different than my numbers.
I'm sure. I am sure.
I say all that to say, I think that we fell just $1,000 over budget. But if you ask Steph, it's a lot more than $1,000. Okay, hold on. Let me get my drink, y'all.
Yes, try it.
I've never had
bamboo
before.
Bamboo.
What is it? It's rum?
It is rum. And they should just make me an ambassador by this point because I take it with me everywhere. Hello, I'm here.
It's sweet.
It is delicious.
Yeah. Or is it the Coke that's sweet? I haven't had Coca-Cola in years.
I know. So I can't tell you because I don't drink Coke by itself. They couldn't penny. So this, on the other hand, I've taken shots of it and it has just like it says rum with natural flavor.
It's really good. It's smooth.
So it has like some spices in here and it gives it a sweet taste. Like honestly, I'm looking forward to having it in my eggnog this season. Like that's the flavor that it brings to mind. Like cinnamon, nutmeg, like warm fall holiday flavors.
We're at my mama's house. I don't think I mentioned that. That the background looks different because we're at my mom's house. I am mixing rum and champagne. So I might be staying at my mom's house. Okay, so I talked a little bit about COVID. Did you stick with your original date?
We did.
Okay, so why did you decide to stick with it amongst all the chaos in COVID?
So we got engaged 2 years ago. At that point, we picked our date. I fell in love with the date for multiple reasons. We got married.
She was one of those 10-10 brides.
10-10, 2020 gang. There were so many of us.
Yes.
And it's like we all picked the same colors too. It was like just variations of like blues and reds and like jewel tones. I was like, look at us. So yeah, we stuck with our date. It was very important to me. Not so much him. He was kind of like, whatever you need, whatever you want. He's just that type of guy.
It's the kind of husbands we like.
Yes, exactly. Whatever I want, thank you. So yeah, we decided to stick with it. And in the beginning, with the quarantine and COVID, because he's a public service worker, he had a lot of time off. Mm-hmm. And then immediately following his time off, I had run into some health issues. So we were just home together, and we had gone through premarital counseling, and it was kind of just like, what are we doing? And I just had this calling on my life. It was just like God was telling me that I needed to continue to make it real, to make it right. And I needed to continue in the path that I was going, in the path that we were going. And it just felt like, why wait?
And how many people was mad that they were no longer invited? Did you run into that? Like,
absolutely.
Okay. How many people did you have?
We invited 50.
Okay.
So we invited 50.
Did all 50 show up?
No.
Okay.
No. There were quite a few people who were upset at our decision to get married during COVID. Typically, most of our friends and family who were genuinely happy for us, understood COVID-19 as a, end all be all. That's what it is. No hard feelings, nothing malicious. COVID-19 is the state of our world. It's not fake. It's not an excuse. And then those who did not were really just self-centered people, and it's not the first time that you've seen that trait. Yeah. So
did you lose friends over your wedding?
Family, yes.
Family. I feel like a whole other topic. that thing that floats around like you can't pick your family. Yeah. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. And yes, I can definitely choose not to have negativity surrounding me like that because it was hard enough as a COVID bride, and I think that it doesn't get talked about enough that we are having to make these cuts and having to make these changes. And, it was pulling on my heart to know that certain people weren't going to be at this, festivity, this celebration of love, that maybe I had been planning my wedding since I was 7, and I just knew that my second cousin's mother was going to be there. But with COVID, it just wasn't possible. Yeah. So I think that a lot of us brides, we can get down on ourselves about having to make those cuts too, even though it's required. But to have somebody attack you or, maybe flaunt your name on the internet, attacking you and your character. Oh, yeah. I felt like it was a bit much. So I'd rather not continue that relationship.
Luckily, I didn't deal with any of that.
Yeah, I'm glad.
At least not publicly. I don't know if anyone said anything.
Throwing your dirt in whispers.
They got the wedding announcement card like, oh.
Well, that's another. I haven't sent mine out yet, but here I am. Clock's winding down. They are in transit to me, and then they'll be going out. So sorry if you see this first.
Stefan and I were supposed to get married 12/12/20. We got engaged in June of 2019. And just a caveat, she already knows this, but for those of you who might not know this, I never wanted a wedding. Never, ever, ever saw myself in a white dress walking down an aisle. Never envisioned it for myself. Like, Steph proposed, and I was like, we can go to Justice of Peace tomorrow. It's not that big of a deal to me. He wanted a wedding. Our families wanted a wedding. I'm my mom's only daughter. Yeah. So, we somehow got spun up and planned this elaborate wedding for 12/12/20. And when I say elaborate, I mean our guest list was like 200 people. We had got up to $40,000 was like what projected that we were going to end up spending. The wedding was going to be in Annapolis, Maryland. And then, Steph and I went through some things. COVID happened, and spiritual tip, I started going to therapy. We started going to therapy together. I started doing devotionals and started, attending church together. I feel like we were missing that piece in our relationship.
Absolutely.
Because there was a lot that we was going through. From the moment of engagement to September.
Same.
And there was a part of me that felt like I don't know if it was pre-cold feet, but there was a part where I was just like, I don't even know if I want to do this.
Right.
I don't know. This is I felt overwhelmed. During the planning of the big wedding, I got overwhelmed and was like, I need to figure out what I want. And that's when we started doing devotionals and going to therapy, and we did the marital counseling. Yeah. And so everything was going well. And I guess I'm on the same page as you. We're quarantined together. Everything's going well. We're still planning for 12/12/20. And one day I woke up and I was like, why do we need to wait until December? And then I already didn't want a wedding, right? So we don't need to wait till December. We got COVID. Let's use COVID as an excuse to cut half of those people.
Yes.
And I'm sorry if you feel offended by watching this and you were supposed to be at the wedding on 12/12/20. But listen, that 40,000 down to 10,000.
Because cut more than half of the budget.
Okay. I was on social media and I saw that vendors started advertising for micro weddings.
Absolutely.
They started advertising for micro weddings in June. No, it was July. July, we went and bought Steph's ring. I think by August I had everything planned out and was like, so we're going to get married Labor Day weekend. That's what we're doing.
It's really a beautiful experience, honestly. I, you know, at a point thought that I had, wish we had went even smaller than 50. But because the mini Moni is really a beautiful and intimate. It's a lot of romance involved.
Yes.
There's a lot of attention to details, so you can't think that it's less stressful because it's smaller.
It's definitely not less stressful.
Not true. But it's a very different experience than, because I've done 300 guest weddings. I've done Indian ceremonies that last the whole weekend. So it's a very different, warm experience to just be surrounded by the most loving people in your circles. And these are the people that are going to hold you guys accountable, not just because you guys shared snot in first grade. We got to be ourselves.
Yes.
Because everybody there was close to us. They knew us.
Yeah.
Like, I could be Nay, I could be Neezy. Like, I got my alter egos. I could, a couple of drinks in and change character, and it didn't matter. I didn't feel like I needed to be this perfect mannequin or a representation of Aaron. Like, I was able to be me because there wasn't all of this. Hi, I'm Angenae. Hi, I'm Mrs. Taylor. If there wasn't any of that.
Yes.
Like, everybody that was invited had been a part of our relationship in the past 4 years. Like, so ours was kind of just like a big, maybe like a Thanksgiving, and we were the guest of honor.
Angenae has 2 different businesses, right? Or no, I feel like she has more than 2 businesses. But she has award styles.
Yes. Yes, I do. That's a fact. You know your things. Okay. Award styles, or award styles, which is my maiden name. It is image consulting at its finest. I consider myself to be an ameliorator. I just make things better. And these are reviews. This is not personal opinion. So it's me styling people, places, and things. So included in that, I do hair for weddings, fashion shows. Typically, I'm a quick pace stylist. I don't like to listen to your business and dye your hair. Also, along with that comes event planning, and my favorite part is wedding planning. So here I am.
So given that we are 2 entrepreneurs and brides, this segment of the video is to vendors, period. This is our top 3 words of advice. Number 1.
As cliche as it is, your customer is always right. I've run into experiences where people were kind of refuting what I was saying, or maybe just offering their advice too firmly. I felt like, like in an effort to sway what I already told you I want. Like,
especially when it comes to spending a lot of money, I want to say.
That too. I mean, upselling.
Yeah.
I didn't run into that as much. Okay. No, it was literally just like, you should do it like this. Most often, I'll run into it with hairstyling. And you'll maybe show me a picture, and your hair does not have the same density or texture or length or highlights or anything like the picture that is shown. And I'll educate you on the photo. Like, well, hey, she has extensions. She also has blonde highlights, and your hair is pretty dark.
She's also white, and you're not
going to see. Your pictures are not going to look like her pictures. And then from that point, if you're like, I know, I just want it. Cool. My job, I feel like, as a professional and as somebody hired to do a service for you, is to maybe educate you in the things you don't know about this field, because I actually work in it. So once I educate you, and then you tell me like, no, I still want it this way, then
I think that's the important part. The customer is always right. You can educate your customer.
Right. Make sure they're making an educated decision.
Yes.
And that's it. That's your job. That's it.
Yeah. But don't tell me I can't.
Because I did my Googles before I got to you. So the second point that we have is not to be afraid or too greedy to turn down a client.
Yes. Yes. I have so many examples of this.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Not to get too specific, generally speaking. For example, I come to you and I'm looking for you to work with real flowers. You're more accustomed to working with silk flowers. Then let me know that in an honest, transparent conversation, prior to me booking your services, versus pretending that you can meet my expectations. You can always offer referrals to your clients. I'm sure you have other friends in the industry that you can toss some money to. Like, don't be greedy. And then also don't feel like you have to be afraid or it makes you any less than what you are.
Be honest.
Absolutely.
Say, I'm like, I want hydrangeas flowers. Is that how you pronounce it? Hydrangeas. If I want hydrangeas flowers and you have no clue how to work with them, tell me, you know what, I don't know how to work with these. And then I can decide if I want to take that risk on you or if I want to go with somebody who has that specialty. Yeah. If I decide to take that risk on you and they come to me dead, I'm like, okay, well, that's on me because you told me up front you don't know how to deal with these.
That brings it back to letting your customers be able to have an educated decision. Yes. Because now I know. And I can't include that in your review. She told me she don't know how to work with hydrangeas, and I gave her money to work with hydrangeas anyway. Now I look irresponsible, or I look like, well, you took that risk.
Yes. The perfect example, and we see this all the time with hairdressers. When new hairstyles just pop up, like the knotless braids or like all the different textured locks, hairstylists are quick to put that on their page. Oh, I know how to do knotless braids, or I know how to do XYZ. Then you go and get that hairstyle thinking, oh, this chick knows how to do it, and then your braids falling out.
Right.
And you're like, what happened?
When really you was her test dummy, and she should have gave you a discounted rate because she practiced.
Yep.
And
you see it all the time.
Practiced on a mannequin, but she had a real person on the face. But we're not gonna get to talk about what y'all stylists be doing. I mean, honestly speaking, I'll let you know, like, oh hey, yeah, I've seen those. They are very interesting, or they do look appealing. I would love to try that, or I have done some research. Maybe I've tried it on a dummy before. I've never done it on a real person. I'm just not gonna pretend. Yeah. Because just show me this picture of somebody who's been doing knotless braids for 2 years.
And I would much rather you be honest with me.
What I produce on my first try is probably not gonna look like the person that you're showing me in the picture who's been doing it for 2 years. Let's just be honest. So I just think if you have that transparency.
Transparency is key.
Your clients will respect you a lot more.
Yes.
A lot more.
That, and if you have too many clients, it's okay to turn down a client.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't double book and triple book yourself and then you're sending out lackluster work, or you can think you can do everything cookie cutter, because brides these days are very unique and they have very unique needs, especially during a time of COVID.
So. Backtracking, here's my little piece of advice to brides. Do not be afraid to fire a vendor.
Thank you for saying it.
Do not be afraid to fire a vendor.
Yes.
I struggled with this because some people I didn't want to let go, but I knew that I had to let go. But at the end of the day, it's a business transaction. And what I'm spending money on, like, it's not about whether a person's going to like you at the end of it. Like, and you just have to be as professional as possible.
What you're saying now does not go along with what our contract is. So, therefore, I think it's best that we sever ties.
Whatever it is, just don't be afraid to do it, because I was.
Yeah.
I didn't want to come across as, like, being...
That is a big thing. And then there's also the tie-in of money. Of course. Can you really put a price tag on your peace of mind?
So vendors, don't be afraid to turn down a client. Make sure you're being honest and transparent up front. What else? Yeah, that's our point number 2. So my point number 3 is keep your business and personal life separate. This comes to communicating with your client as well as all of your social media fronts. I think that it's very important to keep it separate. And this goes with, we're friends. We've been friends since forever, okay? I had no idea what she was going through with her wedding the moment that she decided to step in as my wedding planner. From the moment that she said yes to being my wedding planner until September 6th, I had no idea what was going on in her wedding. And we're friends, okay? So if I'm hiring you for a service and I know you just by hiring you, I don't need to know about your personal life. I don't need to see it either on social media.
I've had vendors like just share way too much, like TMI, and I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand where it comes from.
Yeah. And I think my biggest pet peeve when planning my wedding, this is even starting back from June of 2019 when we got engaged. Like, my biggest pet peeve when I'm looking to book someone, if I am reaching out to you in your respective channels, like you say, reach out to me via email, and I'm reaching out to you via email, and a couple of days go by without you responding to my email. I'm gonna wait a couple of days, but then I see on your social media page, on your business social media page, that you are out and about, and you're hosting, okay? And you're hosting like live events, and like you're obviously living. So I am going to reach out to you via Instagram. Right. I'm gonna send you a message. I'm not gonna like put you on blast, but I'm gonna send you a message and be like, "Hey, you see my email?" Or like, I don't like that. I don't like that. Right. Like,
I don't feel like somebody down to give them your money is just so weird to me.
Yes. Ooh. Okay, so that's my biggest pet peeve. Here's my other pet peeve that I dealt with. Okay. People who are super responsive when trying to get you to book with them, right? You're talking to them back and forth all day long. You have a consultation. You know, you feel good booking this person, and then you pay your retainer fee, and as soon as you pay that retainer fee, they go MIA. I've dealt with that a couple of times with a couple different vendors.
Yeah. It's literally like can I get something? But it's just like them. They show you that representative. It's all a mask. They get you hook, line, and sinker.
That's so annoying.
Comfortable. You got to draw at their house, and then they just, who are you?
That is so annoying.
But this is not who I came into this situation with.
So annoying.
What's happening? You know, and I think it's a level of unprofessionalism that is so disgusting to me. It's literally like at bare minimum, not even speaking about exchanging money, but just being someone's associate, have the decency to say, I don't have the time right now, give me a hot second, I'll return to you at this time. Or set up a what do you call them, like the dummy email, ghost emails that just send as soon as something comes into your inbox. We all have things going on, but send something. You don't want to build the reputation of he doesn't get back to me, or once he gets my money, he doesn't respond. And I know I keep saying he, but I'm sorry, just one example right here. I'm not going to name him. And then you have all these reviews about that. And now you're a thief. Call a spade a spade. Now you're a thief.
My thing about keeping your personal versus your private, or personal versus private, these are both getting to it. Keeping your company apart from your personal. This is my thing. For your social media, you have your own private social media, and then you have your company's social media, right?
I do.
I don't like when they mix.
It's intertwined.
Yeah, because
I don't even know what field of work that works in.
Yeah, a couple of my vendors have theirs intertwined. And then they get upset when I contact them on their, like, profession. Like, if I'm contacting you via email or your professional phone and leave you a voicemail. You don't respond. I see you on Instagram, so I respond to you on Instagram, and then you send me a message saying,
"Oh, I don't do business on Instagram."
But your Instagram handle is your business.
Right.
So that it's just confusing.
Right. I think it's about establishing those clear-cut boundaries for yourself as well as your clients. Like, these are my work hours. These are the days that I'm available. Here are my preferred methods of contact. Maybe throw in an emergency contact if it's like dire, if your event is that day and you can't get a hold of me. Honestly, I just can't imagine like how intertwining them is beneficial for you. And it is 2020. You don't even have to have 2 cell phones anymore. There are so many apps around. And
Google apps.
We just spoke about Instagram. Like, you have one login, and I just toggle through.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I have 5 different pages on Instagram. I just toggle through like all my pages, like which one has the message that I'm looking for, you know? And it's right there. It's that's bare minimum professionalism.
Now, I will say that I struggle with this. I have too many ways to contact me for Reading.
Yes.
And I do need to streamline it to one different way. People text me on my business phone. People send me messages on Facebook, on Instagram, email, and then I also have a form on my website that people fill out.
Okay.
And so sometimes I won't see a text message.
And it'll get lost.
Yeah, it'll get lost.
Right.
And so I know that about myself, that I have too many ways to get in touch with me for services.
That's a really good
I have
point.
too many.
I think you're absolutely right to streamline it.
Yes.
And then you can still have like how you have your business phone number, and you can kind of differentiate like this avenue of communication is for prospects, you know, and these are for people who I have a working project with, ongoing project with at the moment, and that's easy for you.
Yeah.
Because you gotta know, like, when
True.
you're sitting down to get things done, I need to check this inbox. When I'm sitting down to go over my marketing or advertisement, I need to go through my prospects and see where they're coming in from.
Yeah. I have a bonus advice.
I'm excited. I don't know. I don't know why. Should I be? What is it?
A bonus advice. Tip number 4. Right? This is tip number 4? Yeah.
Yeah, 4.
You know the saying, don't ask your friends for a discount, but vendors, just because I'm also a woman of color, don't treat me like I'm your sister or your cousin or your niece or nephew. If I am paying you full price, I am a client, period.
You can be paying my friends and family rates. I'm still going to treat you like a client.
Treat me like a client.
Why is that person's event any different from somebody who booked you off of Craigslist?
It is super annoying. I went to a vendor location to do a walkthrough for my wedding. We walk in, she's barefoot, she's eating chips, she's on FaceTime, and says, go ahead and do your own tour. And I'm like, I could have did this online.
I mean,
I came in person to ask you questions. And this is COVID, so she don't got no mask on. Like, but I'm paying full price.
What's your finger looking?
I can't remember.
Okay.
She was eating Pringles. I don't
At least
know.
those are like 1 bite chips, so she wasn't. Because her feet, like.
But yeah, like, I'm paying full price. So if I'm paying full price, I'm gonna need you to treat me like I pay full price. Now, if I'm paying a discount, then
I understand the vibe of the discount. Like, I mean, because you hooking me up, so maybe I am your sis.
Right, but
there is a line.
There is a line. If you are expecting me to pay full price, I am expecting to be treated like a client.
Yes.
Maybe this is wrong of me to think, but I just don't feel, as a black vendor, if you knew a white person was coming up in there, I don't think you would have been barefoot.
I don't think. No.
I don't.
Wouldn't happen.
So that's another pet peeve.
Yes. No,
I have a lot of pet peeves on here, but
that was a good one though. That was a good one. Because people always want to ask for a discount, and then, and then.
But the flip side to that is also for the vendors.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't half-ass me. Mm-hmm. That's all. Mm-hmm. Treat all clients the same and be professional. Mm-hmm. As a Black vendor, be professional. Because you don't want to say that, we're different, we get treated different. We are different, and we do get treated different. I think that I hold us at a different level.
Okay.
Like, when I'm dealing with a Black vendor or when I'm buying Black, like, I do hold us to a different standard because I feel like we need to excel, period. Right. Like, I want us to win. And if you're not doing at least what your counterparts are doing, then I got an issue with that.
I mean, yeah, and honestly, we do. We have all these movements right now and hashtags, and then the counterpart of that is you'll see these hashtags of people saying they never want to buy Black again because they had such a horrible experience, you know, and that negatively affects everybody. Like, just be honest. If you've never done it and you want to try it, say that. If you don't know how to do it, refer them to somebody who does. Like, we all can eat. Like, of course, I wanted to do 100% Black-owned businesses. But another thing that I wanted to do was give people the opportunity to move into the wedding industry. Yes. So I had a handful of vendors who had never done a wedding before. And I was so excited to be able to provide that opportunity to them.
Yeah.
Like my cake, my videography, my photography.
They've never done wedding before.
Never done a wedding before. And of course they had a gallery for me to look through because they had done other events, but I was the very first wedding. And I was able to give that opportunity to people to kind of, figure out if that's even a lane that they want to move into. And now they have that stepping stone of being able to show my event to future prospects.
That's a hint to brides. Comes out cheaper that way.
It absolutely does. If you are the test dummy, it takes a little soul searching. Like,
am I willing to test it out? Do I want to go with somebody more seasoned?
But they were great. They were absolute joy to work with. And another part of them not having any weddings under their belt, or maybe not much weddings if you wanted somebody fresh, they were moldable. It wasn't I know what to do. I know this. It was, what else can I do? I have another question. Am I asking too many questions? And never be afraid to ask too many questions. Like, they asked me so many questions, and I was happy to answer them.
So, out of your list of vendors, who was your favorite vendor?
So, my favorite vendor was actually a gift from you, Monique.
Sharon!
Yes! So, her name is Sharon Moore, and she's based out of Baltimore, Maryland. She is an event coordinator, planner. She also has her own decor. She was pretty much a one-stop shop.
She was a complete sweetheart.
Absolutely.
Yes.
She was a joy to work with. As Monique told you, I didn't let her on to anything that was going wrong with my wedding until September 6th. I want to say it was even later than that.
You didn't tell me about your issues until I came to pick up my stuff, and that was after Labor Day. So it was like the 8th and 9th or something like that.
Yeah, so, and then, as I said, I lost the venue on the 10th. So, she was just like, I'm going to help you. I'm going to have somebody come in and make your vision come to life,
Angenae needed an Angenae. But it couldn't be Angenae.
I was trying to do it. I really was.
Yeah, no.
So, Sharon came on a month, not even a month, because it took some time going back and forth with the contract and figuring out the venue and if we even needed her and how that was going to work. And she really, really helped me to execute my vision. She came in and just made it better, and she was so personable without being like TMI.
Yeah.
Like, she was professional.
Yes.
But you also felt like you knew her. Like, like,
and I never met her.
Yeah.
Never met her. I never even talked to her over the phone, but like the emails that we exchanged. Like, she was so warm.
Exactly. Very warm. Very warm. She even, he's gonna hate me. My husband was like a ball of mush on our wedding day. It was totally unexpected. He said that what initiated that was Sharon praying over him and his groomsmen.
Oh,
yes.
So that is so sweet.
So she prayed over them, and then after that, he was like, you know, once the first tear fell, I don't know what happened.
So we're getting to the end of our video. What was your favorite part of the entire experience, from the moment you got engaged to midnight wedding night?
It was seeing my husband come alive. A lot of my friends and family shared with me, like, I've never even seen him like look like this, or, you know, he's so happy. Like, I feel like I met Aaron for the first time tonight, and I think it's just a part of who I am. That's kind of how I picked my career path, is because I like to make other people happy. So everybody's telling me, oh, it's your day, but I felt like it was a service to him.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like, you know, this is for you, and I'm giving you this event on a platter.
Because I'm also giving you me.
Because we definitely could have just signed a paper, but in all of my attention to detail and everything that I had planned and all the different surprises, because he didn't even know about the slingshot until the last minute.
Oh.
So all of the different things that I had, like, and I had put his son in his jacket. Brother surprised him at the wedding. So I just made sure that I was very intentional about making it a special and memorable day for him, and it showed in his face.
That was so sweet. Tell the people how they can book you.
At A-War Styles, and that's with an S, not Z, because we're not ghetto. And that is everywhere. That is Instagram, Facebook, A-War Styles. Nice and simple, and it's plural. Okay, because I do it all.
All right, well, thank you for tuning into this week's Red Ink Corner. I promise I will not leave you guys high and dry anymore. I am back to my normally scheduled program. So these will be posted every Thursday. Have a good one.